Greetings, this is James Gillen with As You Wish Talk Radio and ECETI Stargate. We're on Rumble, we're on BitChute, we're on everything, I think. So maybe Facebook, I don't know. I don't know if they've canned us off there yet, but definitely won't be on YouTube and a few others because everything we talk about is taboo in their program. But got a great show tonight. I'm going to skip the news because we've got Gene Decode on. And I'm sure he's got a lot of information coming out, and he's got 21 years in the Navy, and he was working in the submarines, and so he's got 39 years of martial arts, or 35 years of martial arts, and so speaking of submarines, we're going to do a deep dive into what's happening on these underground dumps and the other stuff going on. So without any further ado, we're going to welcome Gene to the show. Gene, are you with us?
I am.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, I should say. I know there's so much going on. I'll just let you take off with it as far as the shifts and the changes. I know this is a multi-dimensional war. We've been getting a lot of information on the other dimensions, what's going on as far as, but I'm just curious, where are we at, cleaning up these domes and deep undergrounds and the tunnels and what's happening, in that arena?
Well, of course, most people by this time know there were 35 facilities, just say for engineering certain kinds of small critters.
Yeah.
And the general that went into Chernobyl said they're not leaving until they get all the children in Chernobyl. So obviously underground, right? So yeah. Lots and lots and lots of cleaning out in Ukraine. The tunnels there, from Odessa, maglev straight up to Kiev. Additionally, now, really, Russia doesn't have to do much. All they've shut their infrastructure pretty much down. They hit it missiles, wait a couple of days, hit it with cheap $1,000 carbon fiber plastic drones. In the meantime, Ukraine is sending expensive missiles. They wipe all that stuff out. They burn it out. They send up their aircraft. The Russians send up their MiGs up in Belarus and with missiles, hypersonic missiles that go hundreds of miles, take out the Ukrainian aircraft. I mean, it's like, and then, it's being said that the US and other countries are going to send this high-end air defense system. Takes 10 years to learn how to use that stuff and to run it. So, yeah, weapons inspectors, US military weapons inspectors. Can you say mission creep?
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to be doing with the equipment? They're not just going to inspect it. So now they're running it, but then what do the Russians do? They target it and take it out. So it's criminal what's going on. Why does the US have 3 weeks or something like that of diesel? Yeah. Might it be because Ukraine has, just throwing this out there, no electrical grid. So what do? Diesel generators? Maybe. And there's, Zelensky regime is saying for all the Ukrainians that fled not to come back because they may have to evacuate their cities. To where? To the failing EU. The economies are imploding. The biggest chemical company in Germany is going to China. Volkswagen went to China. Same in UK. Volkswagen, BMW, their hybrid line went to China. It's all leaving. Where are these people? If they go to an already stressed economy, and the as Garland Nixon aptly called them, narcissistic sociopaths that run the West. You could see in that incredible about 1 hour speech followed by a 4-hour Q&A of Putin. Yeah. Wow, I don't know any other leader that could do 4 hours. Biden. He can't even do 2 minutes without his notes on the teleprompter.
Yeah, we put that out. We put that out on our Telegram and our other avenues and said, I strongly suggest listening to this speech before you make any decisions. And then imagine our president making our existing, what do they call him, commander in chief or whatever he is, installed president. You can imagine him making a speech like this, or even lasting more than 5 minutes without wandering off and shaking invisible people's hands and things like that. So
yeah, even
so,
Obama back in the day, people thought he's so eloquent. Watch him without teleprompters, total train wreck.
yeah.
So, why do the West leaders, neocon globalist psychopaths, hate Putin? Because he's competent, confident, and in that 4 hours, he certainly did not look like the president of a country that has a collapsing economy and is losing a war. He looked confident. He's actually putting out jokes. He made an incredibly funny joke at the very beginning where he talked about, Germany. The his son is asking, why is the house so cold? Because Germany put sanctions on Russia. Why? Because they invaded the Ukraine. And why did Germany put sanctions? To hurt Russian people. I didn't know we're Russian. It's like, he's confident, competent, intelligent, humorous. Of course. And now they're saying, that they're going to ban all Russians from traveling into the EU. Yeah, why do you think that would be? Could it be because you would see that they're doing well, they can travel, they have jobs, you talk to them, their clothes look nice, they look well fed, you don't have much food in Europe, and people would go talk to Russian people and say, how can you afford to travel? I have a pretty good job. Our economy's going crazy. We've got, you look well fed. Yeah, we have food and all that. Why? Well, we don't. So it's like,
well, that brainwashing or social engineering program, we want to make it look like any other country out there is starving and they're desperate and they're living in base poverty, and we have all these that whole program that America's the best, but we're about ready to join them if we keep going in the same direction. But it's all social engineering, and I've met a lot of people in the field I'm in, and with the retreat center we have and everything. People come there from every walk of life, every country, it's amazing. And the Russian people that we've had come were awesome. They were great. The Canadians are awesome. They're really helpful, and they're low key and calm, and it seems like a lot of problems we've been having are mainly from Americans from the East Coast, or the entitled group and things like that. But overall, we've had some great people come, and I always tell people you got to travel. It's like I spent a long time in Mexico, and I used to go down every summer, and I go down there for 3 months to get out of the snow and everything and take a break. And everybody goes, aren't you afraid down there? And I said, I've never been afraid. I'm more afraid in America, especially in a democratic city, to go outdoors at night. It's like, I've never had any problem whatsoever. And I tell people, stay away from the drugs and don't be drunk and wandering the streets at night, and you're fine. But if you do stupid things, there are people out there that will mess with you. But I've never had any problems, and I just think, I don't know how we're going to break this social engineering with all the lamestream news and all these other stereotypes they're creating, and divisions and separations and everything, until that collapses.
Yeah, I think that the engineering and all that social engineering is because of the jab.
Yeah.
The mainstream is starting to figure it out. I don't see how they can keep it hidden when it won't be just the big sports stars that are very, very active and their blood's pumping faster, and they're having what they now call sudden onset death syndrome. It's like when you see people in the store falling, and cars crashing into trees and each other, and trains not stopping at the station, and planes falling, it's going to be out of the air. It's going to become incredibly obvious. But now there's billboards and signs that, like a billboard. I got here, I'm looking at ivermectin cures most illnesses, including cancer and COVID.
Yeah.
Cancer is a parasite. They lied to us. They're poisoning us. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big, huge billboard.
I go back and forth between hydrochloroquine and ivermectin, and I stay on a maintenance schedule. and do a lot of other things too. You know, make sure I have good levels of zinc and vitamin D and C and other things in my system. And I go back and forth, and I don't have any problems at all. But you know, I mean, I'm in Hawaii right now, and I just walk out my door, and I've got papaya and avocados and you know, passion fruit and guava, and you know, I can just walk around and eat if I want to. It's amazing. But you know, there's nuts, mac nuts all over this place. I'm on a coffee mac nut farm, but we have all the other fruit too as well, bananas. You know, so it's like, you know, here I don't even have to do anything, just walk out the front door. If everything hit the fan, you know, we're on solar, you know, we're totally self-sufficient. We have our own water system, everything. So it's like same thing with the ranch is pretty good too. Nothing's, you know, we're just going to cruise through things pretty well. But I've been warning people, you know, about this since 1982. Actually, I wrote it down in books that this was coming, and now it's here. You know, so I figure I've done my duty. You know, I've been doing it for so long and been called every name in the book, and now it's time to just let it unfold. That's still where I'm at right now. I'm still working to uncover and expose all this stuff. But if you're still a Democrat, and if you're still believing all you know, the jabs and all this other stuff, you know, God help you. It's like look around at your state, you know, at your city, look around at what's going on, and then tell me it's working, you know. So it's you know, I you know, I'm kind of taking over the show. I want to hear more about what's going on with you, but I just saw an email today where they're saying that we're a threat because we're right wing extremists, and it's just a matter of time before, you know, all Hawaii becomes Nazis. And I go, God, it's already pretty Nazi right now. And we're not right wing extremists. I say we stick to the truth. We're not research and critical thinking impaired, you know, but I don't think we're an extremist. You know, if telling the truth is being extreme, then I guess we are. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. There's still these people out there that see the truth, and people that are awake and aware, that are critical thinkers, are such a threat right now to their world, and they're so brainwashed. I don't know what's going to take to shake these people out of it.
I think what Elon is doing with Twitter is going to make a big change, because, you know, he's playing the deep state eloquently too. I'm not buying it. Yes, I am buying it. No, I'm not. Yes, I did. You know? And now, by the way, I looked at the source code. You actually committed treason and influenced the elections, tied to Facebook as well. And you actually in the code said, we're not going to uphold the First Amendment. You're breaking federal law. You know, you're doing all kinds of stuff. So it's this many bots, and I mean, it's all this stuff. It's coming out, and
yeah.
So
direct line to the alphabet agencies who've been censoring the content on there. So
yeah,
which is their mandate
directly to the 3-letter agencies. And it's, you know, I just recently learned that if you type Illuminati, www. But type it backwards, it goes to the NSA website. I'm like, that is bizarre.
That's pretty funny. I always try to figure out who the good guys are. I always thought the NSA was more on the positive side, and the Navy and the Marines, and but there's still some Army and some Air Force stuff that needs to be flipped around. There's still some bad eggs in there, but I'm wondering what your take is on that.
Yeah, it's, you know, both sides have infiltrated each other. When Kennedy was here, of course, it was mainly the other way. And then the alliance realized you got to get inside the other side to take it apart. And so now they completely infiltrated everything. And so you can see it playing out. And, you know, they did not realize, it looks to me fairly obvious, that you sanction the bejeebers out of Russia and China and all this other stuff. They'll break away, and then they're going to realize something. We didn't need you in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to watch, I mean, no diesel. I mean, that's a problem. If you got no trains and no trucks running, that's a problem. So
That's the big one. I think that's the big eye opener, that when we run out of diesel, and people are laughing, they're going, well, I have an electric car, or they go, well, I don't drive diesel, I have gas and everything else. And I just go, what do you think? How much diesel is powering the grid right now, and coal, and how you're going to get your food delivered, to your stores, and how's the supply chain going to work without trains and ships? They run on diesel, and the trucks, it's amazing. I heard some yuppie guy on TV saying, he goes, we got to stop farming. Farming is the worst contributor to global warming. We have to stop farming. And this guy, they're out of university, and I go, what are they teaching these kids? They should kick that kid's butt out on a farm and give him a shovel and a rake and let him start growing his own food and see where it comes from.
Yeah, they need to look back in history during the time the methane and the supposed greenhouse gases were hundreds and hundreds of times higher, and the earth was tropical. The whole earth was tropical up to about 18,000 feet. The animals and the plants and the trees were huge. You had trees. I mean, you look at Devil's Tower in the US.
Yeah.
The trunk of a tree, just a tree stump. I mean, how big is that? You look at the animals. I mean, obviously it doesn't create global warming worldwide. What it does is it grows plants, and then they create global cooling, and it spreads out, and you get an overall even temperature, slightly warmer, but it's not going to be deserts and all of this stuff. It's learn the eco cycle, learn how nature works, learn what actually does happen when you get more carbon dioxide and hydrocarbons in the air. You get more plants, more life, more oxygen. And then the cycle goes and goes, and it spreads out evenly, and it goes out even, you have big open fields. It's warmer in the field than in the forest, 50 feet away. I mean, not just even between the trees. I mean, even if the trees are like a ponderosa forest at low level where they're, one every 50 feet, it's still cooler. It's like, you need to learn how biology actually works. Yeah. I had a family member tell me, oh, you got, saw that my counter is like, oh, it's a quartz counter. That's so great. I go, huh? Oh, you don't have granite. That's a quartz is a much smaller carbon footprint. I go, what? I mean, I thought you took biochemistry. I thought you understand how plants work, how the ecosystem works, how plants and animals and all this interchange, and how it really works. And how, look at how a terrarium works and all of this stuff. It's a balance. Nature balances it, and man's interfered. And it has nothing to do with greenhouse. It's a total bunch of baloney.
I think don't we have like 0.03%, maybe even less, of humans adding to the carbon effect and CO2 or whatever, and the greenhouse gases. But the one volcano is going to totally mitigate anything humans do, and there's so many volcanoes going off right now. It's crazy. But if you go up next to a volcano that's pumping out gas, you can see the plants are just thriving. Everything is growing like crazy. It's amazing, and the life loves it. I mean, they flourish around volcanoes. Just check it out. It's like
I was stationed in Puerto Rico. When I retired, I went back there for a little while, and when I got out, I didn't want to work. I mean, they offered me a GS-13 right away, and I'm like, I don't want to work for the government either. I'm done. So I went and I was doing property maintenance, and so I get my weed whacker and machete and go there, and the guy goes, clear all the fruit and take it away.
Yeah.
You don't want it? Goes, I can't keep up with it. So clear this tree. And I go, what the heck is that? He laughed and he goes, it's an avocado tree.
Yeah.
What? It's the size of a watermelon. It's like Because yeah, we would cut and burn anything that put something out. This fruit isn't as big as our seed. The seed in the middle, it weighed 20, 30 pounds per avocado. I used to harvest. I had like take many trips with my car and go to my neighborhood and give everything away. And then I take the last one and cut it in half twice and keep a fourth for me, and have avocado salad and guacamole for a week. All my neighbors are guacamole and salad and avocados like crazy. And the all volcanic. They love the
Oh yeah.
all of the
Yeah, we've been cleaning up this place, and we've got 3 massive piles of garbage that we pulled out, out of the jungle here and all around it's just 7.5 acres, but over the years they piled it up. And we have a truck coming Monday to come pick it up, but it's a whole dump truck full of old refrigerators and washers and just everything you can imagine. But we totally restored this place, cleaned up all the vines, and we have these massive avocado trees that, I don't know, they're 100 plus feet tall almost. They're huge. And we have one of the biggest papaya trees on the island, just gigantic papaya trees. And it's just amazing here. And walking around, we have 3 or 4 different types of avocados, but everybody goes, that's trash. That's a trash avocado. They want those little tiny ones they sell in the store. And so I picked one of them, I think they're called a butter avocado or something, but God, it was one of the best avocados I've ever had. And it was massive. Like you're saying, it was huge. It was 5 times bigger than the other one that, that they're trying to sell in the markets, but the markets don't take them. They got to have that little special avocado, that they can sell for $50 a pound or whatever.
It doesn't even taste the same. It tastes like, what the heck is that? It's like, I go up in the mountains and you get strawberries that are, would fit in a thimble.
Yeah.
It has the same amount of flavor as the big, huge things you get in the store. So, yeah. Bite into this little tiny strawberry and your eyes start to water the first time. You're like, wow, it has a lot of flavor. Holy smoke. And so sweet and delicious. And of course, it's wild. It's totally organic. Why is it so sweet and beautiful? And because the stuff you're eating in the store has fish DNA and all kinds of garbage in it. It's not really a strawberry anymore.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And they're just pulp, they're water and pulp, and they're like I know the same thing. We have huckleberries all around our place in Washington, and blueberries. There's wild blueberries and all kind. And boy, they are so delicious and power packed, and the vitamin C levels are off the scale in them and things like that. But you get the store-bought stuff and you go, wow, this is kind of tastes like water, like flavored water, a little bit of flavored water or something. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's, pretty much what they sell people. The sodas are just flavored sugary water, colored.
Yeah. So I was wondering, according to our sources, and which are on kind of come from a higher level, and just talking to some unseen beings, that they're saying they've got about 90% of this stuff cleaned up with the dumbs and everything, but they're saying that we've got some real nasties they're still working with, and it's the royal reptilians and serpent beings and things like that, which are really out of our pay grade to deal with. And they've been cleaning those up. They're really cleaning out the whole galaxy here. But I'm curious what you've been hearing, and especially Florida. Florida's having all of these earthquakes now underneath Florida. I wonder what's going on there.
You're getting some really deep stuff the Agarthans are helping with from the center of the earth.
Yeah.
So, like in Romania, there was a super deep one. They're coming up, taking out those big, huge serpent nests and stuff like that from the inside. Yeah. Because it's kind of, unless you're using a tactical nuke, a 5D negative, you're not going to take it out with the regular stuff. There's a sniper that talked to you. It was a sniper, I think it was out at S4. And he was, had a light. He'd look, a car coming down through the fence line, and they'd let him in. And if he got a red light, he killed the people. If he got a green light, he let him go. If he got a yellow light, he put a sniper scope on it, and they'd give him a red or green light. And so he was one time watching it out in the desert there. A whole suddenly about 8 feet high area of the desert, about 10 miles in diameter, jumped up 8 feet high and then collapsed. And then about a minute and a half later, these serpent reptilian alpha dracos came up out of the dirt. They literally jumped and in time to avoid the blast. So they actually avoided the blast by moving forward in time. And they just got up out of the sand after it settled and dusted themselves off. And he saw all that stuff, and he saw all kinds of crazy stuff. It's an amazing interview, but I got really traumatized by everything he saw. But yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff. But then the dumps is one thing, but you've got all of these little tunnels and old mines and stuff that go back eons. I mean, you got stuff in like South Africa and Africa, where the Anunnaki were using phasers with those, like Michael Tellinger shows the big buildings with no doors and windows, and that's to beam the gold up, but it also creates a beam of amplified sound, like a laser's light. That's a sound phaser. And it cuts straight down through the earth till it gets to gold. And then you send the miners down there, so you don't have to dig down there. So they, when they're getting diamonds and gold down in Africa now, and they come on one of these shafts, they seal it off. And if workers see it, those workers don't go, those workers disappear. They don't want that stuff out. But you have all that stuff. And so, like, I did a thing on what's under LA with the Serpent City under LA. And you've got most of the major cities, a lot of them, they flooded, like in DC, not just the tunnels from the capitals, and there's stuff underneath that. So it's just so nasty what's been going on. They just flooded it several times with Potomac. And you see that now going on with most of the dams are empty. A lot of the big lakes are empty because they're just flooding it out because it's so nasty. You can't do anything else. Just got to wash out the nasty.
I think they did that with Hitler, that rather than go there and fight, and they'd have to go room by room by room, his underground bunker that was heavily fortified, and behind iron doors with gun turrets and things like that. They just filled it with water, and then they try to blow it up. I don't know if you heard about this, it's pretty funny, but they put all this charge underneath it, and they go, we're just going to blow it to bits. And they blew it up, and it just came up out of the ground and landed again. It's all intact. The German ingenuity, they know how to build things. But a lot of stories about that. But they've been, we've got this reptilian gray Fourth Reich thing going on, and God, it's on every level. We're so infiltrated. I tell people this isn't going to happen overnight. It's been going on for a long time, the infestation, and it is moving pretty quickly, but it's not going to be an overnight thing.
Yeah, people expect to have thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of years of building tunnels and incursion and infiltration, eradicating shortly. Yeah, it's going fast, really fast, but
yeah.
4 years, 5 years, 6 years for what they've done is amazing. But when is it going to get done? Wow. I mean, really? You're cleaning out hundreds of thousands of years of stuff. And it's not just the reptilians. You've got the Greys, you've got the Borgia, you've got the Matri, you've got all of these different groups here for so long. So it's going to take a while to get everything
We're getting a lot of help that people aren't realizing, but we're actually photographing these beings, and even here in Hawaii, we got these tall blue beings. They're just light, and 6-dimensional beings on up. We've gone up to the 13th dimension, but they're actually helping us out quite a bit right now, and they can do so much. But now they told me that the gloves are off. There's no more. Their hands aren't tied. The what's that thing called? They're not interference, something non-interference. That's out of the door. That's out off the table now. So they're coming in and they're just really cleaning up a lot of the stuff that's outside of our pay grade, the stuff that we can't handle. They're coming in and cleaning that up.
Yeah, it's because, when the deep state used the jab and all that, and all the stuff and all the labs and all of this, plus the negative groups interference levels of what they've done is now coming out with what's going on in Ukraine and the tunnels and the domes there and all over, and all of this, they've utterly violated everything. It's like what Russia's doing with the grain deal. Okay, we're out, we're back in, get them to sign on the line, then they break it. They break what they signed for, just like the Minsk Accords. Now you can go see, no coming to the peace table, no signature, you're not going to interfere. You always do. So no deals, no non-interference. We're just going to have to do what we got to do.
Yeah, it's people, I guess if you say if you get on the right side of cleaning this mess up, you're going to be, you're not going to be bashing Putin. So if you don't bash Putin, then you're I don't know, a terrorist or treason. It's insane, and it's actually everything's opposite now. Right now, I wrote a long time ago in the '82 when I wrote this. I wrote 4 books, and one of them I said, you're going to be living in the age where everything is going to be opposite. Like your Justice Department, is the Injustice Department. The National Defense is actually international offense. And I went through the whole thing. The war industries are going to be running the show and things like that. And so everything was a huge reversal. And now what I'm seeing is the reversal is going back the other way. It seems like we're in the second reversal now, where all the stuff that is abusing their power and creating the war and disease profiteers, all that stuff is now being exposed and reversing and going back. I don't know what you see in the future, but I'm really wondering what kind of a government we're going to have in the future. I think it's going to be tied into some kind of council, like a galactic council with some grandmother.
That'll be interesting, because what you're seeing is their narrative is breaking down. And so people are seeing, if you can't have the truth told, people can't go on social media, they can't say certain things. Well, if they're saying the truth and you're saying the truth and you're respectful to others, and why do you care what they say if it's not true? Because we're adults, we're all adults here. We can discern and figure out the truth and go to the creator and get the truth and be solid and learn to look at the information and decide. So what does it matter what Putin or the Russians are saying, or if it's not the truth and you're saying the truth? Let us see. Let's compare. Let's look what's really going on in those countries, what's really going on in the world, what's really going on here. Let's go off the internet and go there and look. Why can't you have Russians travel? Because you're going to see they're doing pretty darn well. You can talk to them. Oh, how do you afford it? What do you mean, how do I afford it? I have a nice job. I work, Oh, well, I don't have a job for 3 years. Why can't you? Because I don't have a job for 3 years, How come you're not looking very good? Because there's nothing in the store. Oh, we don't have that problem. They don't want this out. They don't want the truth. Why do you have to have YouTube censoring everything? Because you can't tell the truth or people will see through it. If you have everybody saying everything, people are smart enough to figure it out. But if you're going to control the narrative, sooner or later, the truth will leak through, and they're starting to see the leaks. All this stuff, common sense, they've got people where they don't use it. A mask, and doing part 5 of the COVID update soon on the deep dives, and there's a video where a guy has a mask on and he puts a mister underneath it, like a vap or something, one of those. He breathes out and it goes out the sides and out the bottom. He goes, what's the stopping? It goes all over. That's mist. And if that's supposed to stop anything you have, it obviously doesn't stop anything from getting out or from getting in. And so people are going to see the truth. It's leaking out. You can't have it forever under control. And so now that's what we're seeing, and they don't want to see an alternative, to their hegemony and their unipolar world, because then they could see, well, something else might work.
Well, the oxygen levels
to tell the truth and run the government on truth and respect people and to pay them their worth, and like the Japanese have done, where somebody in the company has an idea, they incorporate it, and the person gets a cut for the idea.
Yeah.
Instead of robbing it from them and firing them.
Yeah, I know they tested the oxygen levels while you're wearing a mask, and they're far below what's necessary to maintain your body. And back in the day when what was it, the bubonic plague or whatever was going around, they said most people died from bacterial pneumonia, from wearing the mask and so the science is out, it's all there, that they don't work and they do more damage than good. And the jab doesn't work, and it doesn't stop it or prevent it. And so all the information's out there now, but people are still pushing the program, and to me, it's like these people, they're all jabbed up. They've got their boosters and everything. And it's like survival of the fittest or the wisest or something, because these guys are going to take themselves out just by, ignorance can be deadly in the days to come. We got to pay attention to what's going on. And fake, I see that you got fake news and fake government, fake, everything's fake right now. It's like, get out in nature if you want to find out what's real, because almost all this external stuff we're seeing right now is just fake this and fake that. But it's getting insane.
Yeah, like you said, travel and go see those countries and see what's really, like if you have a disagreement, somebody says that you said something and you said this and you said this, and you won't come, like Ukraine, the Russians won't come to the bargaining table. Yeah, because your bargain is you give us everything back, you do everything, and you replace Putin, and then we can have peace. That's not coming to the peace table. It's let's talk about what's going on with you, what's going on with us. But they keep saying, well, Putin said this and Putin said that. I've had the same thing said, well, Gene said this. Did you hear me say that? Somebody said I said. But let's listen to what the person really said. Let's listen to let's go there and see what really is like there. What is it really? What are the people really like? What is really said? Get off the internet. And, I really don't care who's hero here anymore. Is the information the truth? It doesn't matter if I am who I am or whatever. It matters if it's truth and it fits for you. If it's not, then go where it feels truthful to you. Don't worry about who's who. Who's a good person. Use your own discernment. We're all adults here. Use your own discernment, your own understanding, your prayer, your own intuition, your own logic, and come to the truth for yourself, and stop having it fed to you by a spoon. We've been fed too long. Learn to grow up and use your common sense and stop being, fed, because when somebody's giving you a free lunch, you usually are going to be lunch.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, it's the stuff I've gone through. I haven't talked too much about it, but I mean, I've been accused of being a pedophile because somebody had a similar name to mine, but it was the wrong name. And I have a daughter, so I mean, it's so ridiculous. And I've been speaking out against the whole child and sex trafficking my whole life. But I've been everything from pedophile to being gay to being a womanizer to being. Oh, I was running a Russian bestiality program or something like. I don't even know what that is. It's unbelievable. And these people go, I've got the evidence. He's Illuminati. He's this, he's that. And it's funny. All your life you speak out against a lot of this stuff, and then they label you with exactly what you're trying to clean up. Especially with the child and sex trafficking and all the other stuff. But it's amazing. I actually had to put something on my website saying, hey, these rumors out there are getting so ridiculous. You might want to just come and check out ESETI yourself and make your own opinion about what's happening there. And I said, because that's the only way you're going to have, and come and see the ships yourself. have your own experience. It's there for everybody. Experience the energy there. We've got masters appearing there. We're photographing them. We've got Kuan Yin, Mary, Babaji, all these masters appearing there. We have these 6th, 7th dimensional beings showing up and actually photographing them. And, they don't show up if you're a mess. If you're a pedo, or something, you're going to have reptilians there. You're going to have some nasty stuff there. You're not going to have the masters and higher dimensional beings supporting it or hanging out there. But all it takes is one person to throw out a rumor. And there's a lot of Manchurian candidates out there and people that don't even realize that they've been chipped and out there throwing rumors, throwing dirt. And especially in the UFO community, all it takes is one rumor goes around the world twice before the truth has its time to tie its shoes. It's unbelievable, but I've got like 500 knives in my back, being here. And
I know the feeling. I've heard it all too. Everything.
Yeah. And it's like,
flung at me, and I go, why don't you talk to me and see what I really say, who I really am? Watch, as Christ said, judge them by their fruits.
Exactly.
What Putin said. Judge them by their long-term walk and their long-term talk instead of listening to what somebody said they said.
Yeah.
We've
been doing this, 40 years intensely. Being part of the awakening healing process and doing process-oriented therapies and workshops and classes. And, at one time you have to say, well, if he's been doing this for like 40 years, there might be some kind of commitment there, to spirit, but we've had spontaneous healings here. So many, I don't document them because I don't want to take credit. I tell people I don't take credit or I don't take blame if it doesn't happen. That's between you and creator. But we've had so many things, just full on miracles happen there. And I go, that's between you and God, and some people are actually blocking their own healing and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't heal somebody that has an investment into their sickness. They're either getting emotional or financial support by being victims and things like that. And a lot of people like victims. Victims are usually people that have agendas, and when their agendas aren't met, they become victims, and then they get on the victims, savior, persecutor triangle. It's just a big mess. But lately, I've been kind of just being out in nature as much as I can and just working really hard on the land and growing things and gardening and cleanup and things like that. And I'm just really happy not having to deal with all this other chaos out there and nonsense.
Yeah, it's a good time to, if you're in an area like you are, I just winterize big in the process. Next is the waking gardens to, bring all the plants, what's left, and just turn it over in the dirt so it can mulch itself and compost itself over the winter, and just put the covers back on. I just winterized a bunch of the rain barrels and all of that. I catch rain and use that and all that. So it's just I'm going to be taking a sabbatical here soon and just get up in the mountains and just be with God and his creation. And everybody needs to do that, is to get back to the truth and the nature and all of those things. It's just, you can do this for so long and the darkness starts to overwhelm you. You just got to get away from it sometimes and set it aside and not go on the internet, not do anything, just set it down for at least 3-4 days, do 3-4 days. It's not that long.
I agree. I mean, I just got my phone hacked and it went psycho on me. My computer got hacked. Everything. And I think it's probably because of the last show, because I just called out all the Pelosi stuff and the real details, what happened there and everything. And so I just let it fly because I got pretty much kicked off of YouTube. And so I said, okay, I'm going to cover all the things that I haven't talked about that really need to be talked about and pull out all the stops. So I did. And wow, it's like 3 days later, everything, all my equipment just went to hell. And black helicopters flying over and Navy frigates sitting out in my front yard. It's like I must have really pushed the buttons on that one show, I guess. Who knows?
A lot of people are pushing the envelope. You say must, but also the CEO of Rumbles, Macron said that you have to pull all Russian content, and he goes, "No, we could pull out of France."
Yeah,
We're not
love that.
keep walking the goalposts. I mean, just going to walk it forever. Pull this, pull that. No, we'll leave. So there's people that are, not going to be pushed anymore. And it's growing. You didn't see that 20, 30 years ago. Now you're seeing it. So, it doesn't look like people are waking up, but they are. Moldova, they tried to get violent with the protesters. They didn't leave. They're still there.
Yeah, nothing's changed with us. I mean, we're still having these higher dimensional beings appear. We still have the ships here in Hawaii. I filmed something that flew over, and we'll get up on the website soon. It flew over 2 nights ago, and it looked like a planet outgassing both sides as it flew towards the east. And it doesn't make any sense, unless it had a hollow and 2 poles on it or something. But it was like a planet that came flying right through way too fast for a comet. And I still, jury's out on that one. I don't know what it is, but we've got treetop level ships coming in here and making all kinds of turns and things. They're just massive ships and busy. And it's always around 5 in the morning. We get a lot of activity about 5 in the morning, but we'll put that up on the website here pretty soon. We've had trouble with our equipment. My camera also just took a dive, and we couldn't get anything off of it. And I finally got it off, but somebody really did a number on all of our equipment here, and it all happened at the same time. So I think they're pulsing us with something, who knows, but anyway, we're back up, and we got everything back up and running and fixed. And so we're going to keep going forward. We always do.
Yeah, that's all you can do is keep pushing on.
Yeah. So that Florida, you think, I know they told us because they're in Washington State at the main retreat center, there's a door that opens up to the inner earth there, and we have it on film, and ships going in and out of it. And they told us they have an alliance with this Galactic Council or whatever it is. They have a huge airport there that ships come in and out, and we film that. And then the lower levels are the inner earth guys. And they said they're all working together now to clean this stuff up, and they've joined the effort. And now we're getting that's coming out of other people that are part of Space Fleet and things like that are coming out with this information. But it does seem like the whole universe has had enough of this bullying, this nonsense, and these other guys, and now they're coming in strong to finally put an end to it.
Yep, I think definitely the Milky Way had enough.
Yeah,
they're just saying enough of this, and our solar system is really cleaned up. So it's an amazing time.
I tell people it goes all the way up to Creator, God, Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it. It goes all the way to the top, and the top's pretty much said it's finished. So all the worker bees on down are getting busy and cleaning this mess up. So and we're in those times right now. We're coming up to the end of the hour. I know you've got a new website up, don't you? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, if you can give me share screen, I can show it.
Boy, everything's brand new right now, so we're limited till we get going. I don't know if we can do that. But just give us the website, and when we air the show, we'll have it up for people. We'll put it in the.
It's genedecode.org.
Okay, that's easy.
Yep.
And it's GENE.
Yep. GENE, just like you see my name, all lowercase genedecode.org. Okay,
great. I just want to make sure that people don't type a JN or something else. You know how that goes. But yeah, they can check it out, and congratulations on getting your own website up and getting your information out. And if you got any major updates, let us know. We'll get you back on the show.
All right. Thank you, James.
All right, Gene, thank you so much for spending time with us, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, it's the end of the hour, folks. Keep an open mind, loving heart, pure intent, get out in nature, and just walk away from all this crazy nonsense that's going on. That's the only way you're going to get out of it. Let it implode. It's on its way. So anyway, have a great evening and good night.